Hi everybody, welcome to another Low on Health game video reviews, where I kind of go over what I've been playing recently. Recently, I've mentioned this before in my other videos, I had dropped GameFly as my key game provider and actually adopted Blockbuster, because I believe it's a better value for my current system of living, because I chew through games a lot, and it's easier to actually go and drop them off at Blockbuster, and it's kind of a little bit cheaper. And I can also rent movies, like Scott Pilgrim, which I'm watching for like the 5th and 6th time with the commentary. But that's neither here or there. What that really means is I've been plowing through video games left and right. In which case, I've barely had enough time to actually write my notes, translate them, and get them online and do these little videos, let people know what I think about them. In which case, if you're watching these, thank you for watching these. You can always just, of course, read my thoughts in the notes underneath each video. That might be easier than actually listening to me drone on about them. But what I'm going to do right now is kind of blaze through kind of sets of 2 at a time. Because I do want to have them still split up to a point where you know what you're going to be watching in each video. So basically, this is kind of going to be an introduction for the next couple, like basically 5 videos in a row. Each of them I'll have a little title, but I'll just probably just blaze through each review, so it'll be short little video reviews. So anyway, let's get this ball rolling. The first one we got here is going to be Vanquish for the Xbox 360. It's a game I played. If you do or do not know what Vanquish is, it's basically kind of a third-person shooter. Has good, good visual, good voice acting, a solid overall kind of presentation. I did kind of like the gameplay of it. It was very fluid. It's very kind of a real streamlined, flowy type of game, almost kind of like the Devil May Cry game, how just the gun action flowed. Some really cool things about the game is it has no loading screens, which I actually kind of like. There are basically points in the game where you walk through a corridor and you'd be listening to a comm thing and you'd be walking slowly, but that would basically count as a load screen. So it basically just had a nice overall flow throughout the game. And the game, the story itself is okay. It does have some kind of humorous self-commentary, like they'll be like, oh, I can't believe blah, 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 like, whatever kind of staples there are in the third-person shooters, and it is kind of a sci-fi third-person shooter. Don't really know much to say about it. I mean, it's just basically your standard third-person shooter. If anything, it gave me kind of a Lost Planet 2 vibe, kind of just how it game played-wise, because you could, dodge, roll around, and whatnot. And you do have this suit that lets you do kind of cool things, but it's kind of just a gimmick. It's just basically a third-person shooter. But still a good game. I did enjoy it, and basically if you like third-person shooters, you can't hurt yourself by playing it, and I definitely did enjoy it. Kind of just gave it a solid kind of 7.25. Moving on here, next one I'm going to talk about is going to be Fable 3. Now, I know a lot of people love the Fable series, and I've had kind of reservations about the Fable series back and forth, just because they've gotten kind of more simmy as the times have gone by. They're less action-adventure-y, and that holds true for Fable 3. Basically, it's more of a kind of your interactions matter more than the actual gameplay to a point. Like, it didn't really feel like I was fighting much. I really didn't enjoy the whole guild seal system or just the overall kind of idea behind the game. I definitely love the map system. I love the detailed map and being able to zoom around and fast travel. I like being able to buy stuff. I did like the interactions to a point. The game does seem kind of like really simplified and kind of just streamlined down to a point, which is good for most people. Most people want a game that's kind of streamlined like that. There are a bunch of quests and whatnot. I do kind of, and the big thing about Fable 3 is at the very end you get to become the king and you get to make some kind of cool decisions on like how your little kingdom is going to progress, because you have this threat coming and you need money, but you need to balance the money and what your promises made to people. The only thing I had an issue with that whole thing is you basically have 2 different sides arguing a point. One of them's kind of good, one of them's kind of bad, but the bad point's always argued by this Reaver character, who I've been wanting to kill since I first met him, and he tried to kill me, but you never do. And you never get the option to kill him, which I thought was kind of weird. But it's just sad that basically every single option is basically the bad option that'll give you money, or the good option that makes everybody happy but takes away money. But the problem is like you never get like 2 bad proposals and you have to pick the lesser of 2 evils, or 2 good proposals and you have to kind of gauge them back and forth. There's no gray area. It's very much black and white. And every single negative bad proposal is done by this one character, which kind of just, whatever. I will say, for me, at the very end, I made sure that all my people were happy with what I did, even though the coffers in the kingdom were definitely negative, and I wasn't really doing all the real estate stuff. So, we didn't really fare too well in the war. Another side note, of course, I love being able to make a character just, naked as a chick. Not naked, but, she's wearing basically, a swimsuit running through the whole game. It was just kind of aggravating because every now and then they'll tell you to wear this certain costume, and I for some reason, had difficulty navigating the whole clothes and tattoo system. But once again, whatever. But it's a decent, solid game overall. I can't fault it too much. It's definitely, it's it's just streamlined and simplified, and it's more of a casual game with sim property as opposed to an action-adventure game. It is a way too easy game. I never died. Once you get your spells going, you can easily keep enemies away from you and just chew through it. But decent game nonetheless. I think I gave it an 8 overall. But other than that, as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.